Level 1. Your personality started forming long before you made your first real decision, and one number explains why: 40 to 60%. That's the share of personality differences researchers believe comes from genetics, which means your story began before you ever chose your friends, your hobbies, or even your favorite color. Researchers spent decades studying identical twins who grew up apart, sometimes in different homes, different schools, and even different countries. What nobody expected was how often those twins still developed strikingly similar personalities, despite living completely separate lives. Here's the thing: those studies became some of the strongest evidence that genes shape who you become. Behavioral genetics research suggests inherited biology accounts for about 40 to 60% of personality differences, which doesn't lock your future into place, but it does give you a starting point before life begins adding its own influence. That leaves almost half of your personality still unexplained, and the answer isn't as simple as blaming or praising your parents. In fact, the next piece of the puzzle changes the way psychologists think about childhood itself. Level 2. Most people assume the people who raised them shaped nearly everything about who they became. Research points in a more complicated direction. Psychologists divide your environment into two categories. The first is your shared environment, including your home, your parents, your neighborhood, and many of the experiences you shared with your siblings. The second is your non-shared environment, which includes the experiences that belonged only to you. Maybe one teacher encouraged you, while another ignored your sibling. Maybe your closest friends pulled you toward different interests. Or maybe one difficult moment completely changed the way you saw yourself. Those experiences seem small at the time, yet research consistently suggests they often influence personality more than the environment brothers and sisters grow up sharing, which meant two children raised under the same roof could gradually become very different adults, not because one family intentionally treated them differently, but because life quietly handed each child a unique collection of experiences. Here's what makes that even more surprising. Childhood doesn't finish the job, because your personality keeps changing long after those early years are over. Level 3. For many years, psychologists believed personality settled into place once adulthood arrived. Long-term research overturned that idea. One age range stands out: 18 to 30. Researchers found that many of the biggest personality changes happen during those years, although measurable changes continue throughout the rest of life. Instead of remaining fixed, people often become more conscientious, more agreeable, and less neurotic as they grow older. That means personality behaves less like a permanent label and more like something that continues developing as life unfolds. What nobody expected was that major life experiences also leave their mark. Marriage, becoming a parent, military service, serious illness, therapy, and intentional habit building all influence personality over time. While even childhood attachment styles, whether secure, anxious, avoidant, or disorganized, can shift through later experiences instead of lasting forever. Here's the bigger question: if your personality keeps evolving throughout life, then what exactly are you calling your true self? The answer becomes even more interesting once culture enters the picture. Level 4. Your personality may feel consistent wherever you go, yet the way it appears often changes with the world around you. In many Western societies, confidence, independence, and self-expression receive praise, while many East Asian cultures place greater value on harmony, cooperation, and humility. The very same behavior can earn admiration in one place and criticism somewhere else, which means personality isn't only about who you are, but also about the standards surrounding you. Language adds another layer. Researchers studying bilingual people discovered that some individuals express themselves differently depending on which language they are speaking, because each language carries different memories, emotions, and cultural expectations. Here's the important distinction. Scientists are not saying people become entirely different individuals. Instead, different parts of the same personality become more visible in different situations, revealing sides that may stay hidden elsewhere. What nobody expected is that modern technology might influence that process too. Social media encourages certain forms of self-presentation through likes, recommendations, and constant comparison. Although researchers continue studying whether those behaviors permanently change core personality traits, and the evidence remains mixed. That leaves one final question, and it's the one that matters most. If so many forces shape your personality, do you still get to decide who you become? Level 5. Everything leads back to the same question. Because your personality has been shaped by genetics, childhood, culture, language, and life experiences from the very beginning. Here's the encouraging part. Research increasingly shows personality can change intentionally, and studies have found that therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, habit building, and goal-directed behavior produce measurable personality changes over time. Your genes provide the starting point, your environment adds new layers, and your experiences continue guiding the process. Yet none of those forces permanently lock your future into place. Modern psychology no longer treats personality as something frozen forever, instead, describing it as relatively stable while still capable of adapting throughout life. Which means the answer isn't that your personality was never yours. You didn't choose your genes, your childhood, your culture, or many of the experiences that shaped you, yet you still influence the direction your personality takes from this point forward. That's the real takeaway. Your personality never came from one decision, one person, or one moment. It emerged from countless influences working together across your life, and the next time you catch yourself saying, "That's just who I am," remember that science describes your identity not as a finished product, but as a story that is still being written.